Admiral Kalen watched the sensor readings with growing unease. 300 ships had just dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the Centauri system, their transponders broadcasting a signal he hadn't seen in 20 years. The black mourning flags of the Terran Exile fleet, each one bearing the crimson crown of humanity's lost queen. "Sir," his communications officer's voice trembled. "We're receiving a transmission on all frequencies. It's her." The holographic display flickered to life, revealing a woman who had aged gracefully despite 2 decades in the void between stars. Queen Isabella Chen stood tall in her command uniform, her dark hair now streaked with silver, her eyes still burning with the fierce intelligence that had once ruled half the galaxy. Behind her, the bridge of her flagship hummed with activity, and Kalen could see the distinctive angular features of her human crew, survivors all. "Citizens of the Centauri Republic," Isabella's voice carried across space with regal authority. 20 years ago, your alien overlords branded me a terrorist and exiled my fleet for the crime of defending human colonies. Today, I return not as a conqueror, but as a liberator. Kalen's superior, Director Zeftar, materialized beside him in a shimmer of bioluminescent scales. The Aquarian's gill slits fluttered with agitation. "This is impossible. The Exile fleet was destroyed years ago. Our scouts confirmed it." "Apparently they confirmed wrong," Kalen muttered, unable to hide his admiration as he watched the tactical display. The Queen's ships moved with predatory grace, surrounding the system in a perfect sphere. Each vessel bore scorch marks and battle damage, testament to decades of fighting in the dark between stars. The transmission continued. "For 20 years, my people have wandered the galaxy's edge, protecting human colonies that your enlightened republic abandoned. We've fought pirates, slavers, and worse. We've seen what becomes of humans under alien rule. Second-class citizens in their own systems, their children conscripted, their resources stripped away." Director Zeftar's chromatophores flashed angry purples and reds. "Contact the Hegemony fleet. Tell them we need immediate reinforcement." "Sir?" The communications officer looked up nervously. "The Hegemony fleet isn't responding. Their base at Proxima, it's gone. Completely destroyed." Isabella's image smiled coldly as if she could hear their conversation across the void. "You may wonder how 300 ships could challenge the combined might of 5 alien species. The answer is simple. We remembered what it means to be human." The tactical display updated as the Exile fleet's true capabilities became apparent. Each ship bristled with weapons that shouldn't exist, powered by engines that burned brighter than stars. Kalen recognized the technology, ancient human designs from before the subjugation wars, refined and perfected by 2 decades of desperate innovation. "Humans," Isabella continued, "are not the galaxy's most numerous species. We're not the strongest or the fastest or the most psychically gifted, but we are the most stubborn. When faced with extinction, we don't surrender. We evolve." 3 hegemony dreadnoughts dropped out of hyperspace, their massive bulk dwarfing even the largest human vessels. They opened fire immediately, plasma cannons lancing toward the Exile fleet with enough energy to crack planets. The human ships didn't even flinch. Point defense systems that moved like liquid light intercepted the incoming fire, while their return volleys punched through shields that had never been breached. Within minutes, burning alien hulks drifted through space. 20 years ago, the Queen's voice carried a note of sadness now. "You exiled us for refusing to watch our people become slaves. You called us terrorists, extremists, a threat to galactic peace. Perhaps you were right to fear us." Director Zeftar's chromatophores had faded to a sickly yellow-green. "Open a channel. Offer them anything. Territorial concessions, trade agreements, complete human autonomy in the outer systems." Isabella's laugh echoed through the bridge. "Autonomy? Director, you misunderstand. We're not here to negotiate for scraps of our own heritage. We're here to reclaim what was taken from us." The Exile fleet began moving toward the inner system, their formation shifting like a school of predatory fish. Each ship was a work of art and science, cobbled together from salvage and desperate ingenuity, yet somehow more magnificent than anything the galaxy's shipyards had produced. "You taught us that humans don't belong in your perfect order," Isabella said, her image beginning to fade as the transmission cycle ended. "You were wrong. We don't belong in your order. We belong in our own." The screen went dark, leaving only the tactical display showing 300 human ships closing on humanity's former capital. They came not as refugees or petitioners, but as heirs reclaiming their birthright. Kalen found himself thinking of his own human ancestry, of the grandmother who had told him stories of Earth before the aliens came. He looked at the mourning flags displayed on his screen. Black banners for the humans who had died in exile, red crowns for the sovereignty they had never surrendered. "Sir?" his communications officer asked quietly. "Your orders?" Kalen looked at Director Zeftar, who was already retreating toward the evacuation pods. Then he looked at the approaching fleet, at the Queen who had turned exile into strength, defeat into victory. "Stand down all weapons," he said finally, "and prepare to receive Her Majesty's representatives." Outside, the stars seemed to burn brighter as humanity came home at last.